It is October and that means one thing. I've got a cold. But it also means that it's the spooky season. But once your guys are seeing this video, it means October has ended and it's November 1st. But let's get back to October. October is known for Halloween, and with such a thematic event, YouTubers and communities get together to do all kinds of challenges and contests around Halloween. One of these creators with his community was StanceGT, a 3D model artist known for making beloved cars with his own artistic twist. But we'll get to that twist a bit later. His challenge was to give one of his cars a Halloween makeover and make it spooky, and then the community will decide on a winner. Of course, for that I had to come up with an idea, so I went to his Patreon shop page and looked through the cars he had. And then I saw it, the Nissan GTR GT3. He released it a few months ago and it was one of his more recent releases, and I thought it would be cool to do something with this for this Halloween challenge, since I already had the file anyway. Now, I had to come up with an idea and I started thinking and then it just clicked. Godzilla. Now, if you don't immediately go, that makes sense. Let me tell you why I chose Godzilla. The Nissan GTR has a nickname and that nickname is Godzilla. So I thought it would be cool to base the whole concept off of that, so I had to come up with an idea to combine Godzilla and this GTR together. So I started thinking, how can I make this in a Halloween themed car? Let's get back to his style to maybe give us an idea on how we can incorporate that. What is special about his work? Well, as he puts it himself, his cars are all stanced. Now you either go, huh? Or you go, oh, so you mean lowered? No, I don't mean lowered. There's a different kind of stance. No, stance just means he gives his own artistic twist to it. So when I go about and explain to people what his artistic twist on these cars are, I usually refer to the chibi style of artwork, where you disproportionize usually a character to make them more cute, but you can do it with all kinds of things. You've seen it on Gundam with the SD, the Super Deformed, which is not a name for chibi line, but also with the previous projects I did, the F104s, they also were a bit squished in, disproportionized, and I also refer to those as chibi planes. It isn't how he, as far as I know, refers to his own work, but when I have to explain to people what does stance to mean, I usually tell them that it's a chibi kind of style. And I gotta say, I really like it. It's a cool style, his artwork is great, and all the models just are beautiful. Thank God. Now, how do we combine a monster of a car and an actual monster into something that we still can refer to as being cute, while also fitting the Halloween theme? And I came up with an idea, and that idea is a Halloween costume. Yes, that's right, this little GTR car is gonna dress up as Godzilla. Now, how are we gonna do that? First, I need a sculpt of any form of Godzilla that I can mix and match with the 3D file of the car and then print out as well. So for that, I went to Gulls 3D and started looking for Godzilla files. Now, quite quickly, I found this already chibi figure of Godzilla, and I was just like, this is perfect. It's already chibi, it's in kind of the same style. This will work, let's do it. So once I bought the file, I went into my software of choice, being Cinema 4D, and starting adding and removing geometry to make the cars fit to each other, and then with a Boolean operation I got it really close to fitting properly and having all the mesh correctly. It was a whole hassle for polygons not being removed, files and meshes just not doing what I wanted it to do. Boolean in Cinema isn't great, or I just don't know how to work with it. It took a while, but eventually I got something workable. So once I had that file worked out and altered and ready to print, I took it into my slicer, I sliced it and sent it off to printing alongside with the car. Here we have all the parts, the GTR and all its pieces, and a modified head of the Godzilla figure. Here is a little sneak peek of what the final assembly will look like. First, we have to do a lot of sanding, since I probably over-supported the entire model. Resin is best sanded in a booth with wet sanding materials like sponges or sticks to prevent dust from flying up and getting in your lungs. The spray booth will catch any remains that do get airborne, but just in case, always wear a respirator when sanding resin. While I'll continue sanding this surface down to a smooth finish, why don't you guys make sure you follow me on Instagram, where I try to at least 3 times a week keep you updated on what I'm currently working on. I say try to because I don't always have anything to post, but you get a bit of a better look behind the scenes what I'm currently working on and what I'm doing and what's coming for you guys. My Instagram will be in the description down below. After the first sanding session is done, we apply the coat of primer to reveal any remaining imperfections. Here you can see that there are still some layer lines visible, so we will sand those. Once the layer lines are less visible and more smooth, the car is good as done, but Godzilla is not yet. We will do some more spot filling with a black superglue, which once it's cured is solid and can be sanded as well. One more test fit before we will combine these two parts. To combine the head and the car, we will be using this 2-part epoxy putty from DSPIA. It's a lot like milliput and green stuff. You mix these 2 parts together and mix them well until they are one. Then, after studying the test fit and assessing where the putty needs to go, we place our layer on the inside of the head, align it with the car and press them together. Putty here will also serve as a bond between the 2 objects, and no glue is needed to hold this together. We then use some more putty alongside some silicone sculpting tools to close all the gaps and make it one smooth surface. After that's dry, we prime and sand and prime and sand until it's smooth enough. We then use Dunkel Grau and Violet to make a mix that will serve as a base coat. Alongside this direction, I will be painting the scales of Godzilla. With the help of a pencil, I sketch out those scales. Now I use a lighter purple to act as an edge highlight that will then get an adjacent grey line that will serve as a shadow caused by the scales standing a bit up. Now, not a lot of this footage was usable, which given my track record would surprise absolutely no one, but later on I also redid most of this paint work to make it look better. I also did not record that, but once we get to the point where you'll see the new paint job, I'll explain a bit more about what I did and why. Then, with a fine brush, we will paint all other parts like the diffuser, grills and canard. For the eyes, I wanted to make them look like glowing blue lightning, which is often associated with Godzilla's power beam. I think I've never watched a Godzilla movie. So for that we start with a coat of white to make the blue cover better instead of giving it a dark grey base. While the white dries, we will use this sunny tone as a color for the gums. We then move on to the remaining parts, starting with the steering wheel. I painted this with an acrylic primer I had laying around, a gloss black one at that, because it's still bare resin and didn't prime it in the air booth. Then we paint the ventilation hose inside the car in a black as well, after which we will move to the roll cage. The roll cage will be painted in my favorite blood red. Then with silver paint, we move on to the radiator and the brake discs. And use a black paint for the part that you use mounted on the car. I have no clue what it's actually called, but you see what I mean. Then blood red for the calipers as well, and some silver and red for the details on the steering wheel. It's very minor, you can't even see it, but we know it's there. I also thought it would look cool to write Godzilla on the sides of the car, kind of like a graffiti kind of style, and I think it fitted really well. I used my brand new... For that I used this Pro Acryl Titanium White, which is said to be one of the best covering white paints out there. It just goes on it covers even if the base is black. And it really did a really good job, and I can truly say that it covers quite well. Then after that we use a black paint to outline the letters. While we go ahead and look at how I'm outlining these letters of Godzilla here, I'll talk a bit more about what I actually ended up doing with those scales. As you can see, I went in with a bit more of a darker purple at the tip of the scales where I did the highlights previously, and I kind of scratched them down to create a kind of like, I don't know what I went for, I just thought it would work. That's what I usually do. And then from the bottom side up, I kind of did the same with a darker tone of that undercoat gray to create a bit of a shading effect that was caused by the scales overlapping each other. And I think it looks way better than what it initially did, so I'm very happy with the results, and for next time I'll try to record my stuff again. We then move on with the eyes. I did a white circle on the inside of the blue pupil, which I then cover up with a lighter blue inner circle to create a gradient. The white is here to provide a kind of color boost by being a brighter undertone for the blue to make it look more bright than the rest of the blue, creating that gradient in the eye and that kind of glowing effect I was going for. And it turned out quite well, and I'm really happy with the result. It's still not the best work when it comes to layering, and I still need to practice that, but it looks fine. And then also lay some small details, some red paint on the knobs of this display, just like with the steering wheel to match it. And just give it a little bit more detail to the inside no one will ever see. Then with some black paint, I paint in some of the smaller left out details, like the vents, the air ducts and some of the mesh grills on the side skirts. Finally, we move on to the final assembly. Now, since this is resin and it's not a plastic, we need to use super glue to glue this all together. So I put some super glue on the inside and as well as the inner side of the tire, so that when I push the rims in from the front, the super glue isn't pushed out forward. We then move on to the seats. It's kind of a hassle to get it in there. It isn't the easiest construction. Just apply some super glue to the locator pins and then just tilt it headrest in first into the roll cage, and then you just slot it into position and it sits quite nice. Then for this part, this is quite tricky. There are two ways to do it. You either tilt it up, do it front first and then slot it in, or back first, tilt it up and then slot it in. It's quite tricky, but once you know how it goes, it's quite easy. And then you just push it down. With this construction, it's tight and friction fit, and you don't need any glue to hold it together. And there you can see the little inside that you'll never see again. Then I use some super glue to glue on these wheels, because there's no reason for this car to be driving around. It isn't modeled for that, and otherwise the wheels won't stay on. Then with some Tamiya black panel liner, I'll do some of the panel lines here and there, and then we can call it good. So while you guys enjoy the beauty shots, I'll be heading off for a while, because right now, as of recording this, it's the 26th. It's the deadline for submission, and I submitted my photos for the contest, and now I need to wait until the 31st for the live stream, where the winners are revealed. Will I win anything? Maybe. I think I have a cool concept and it worked out great, and I'm honestly quite happy with how it turned out. But until the 31st, we won't know anything for sure. So I'll be heading off, and I'll see you guys in a bit. But then on the 31st, after the live stream, and I know if I won anything or not. See you guys then.
So as I said, Daniel, I think the Godzilla is not really mixed on the Halloween theme. I think if you want to make this Godzilla for Halloween, maybe you need to put a skull of Godzilla on the top of the car, not the head only.
Yeah.
Maybe
with some skeletons,
yes,
like if he
maybe a little bit of blood in the teeth. Also, maybe he can eat something around the front window, or something like that, more terrific. For me, is I see this car is I don't get panic of this car.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a nice car. It's
really cool.
It's well done.
Well done. It's amazing. But I think he needs a little bit more thematic of Halloween. He needs a little bit more.
Yeah, to be for Halloween for a challenge, Halloween challenge. Alberto says that it's necessary to be a little bit more, or how to say this, needs to be more panic to people, or like this is so
super
nice,
cute.
Yeah, super cute. Yeah, this is the word. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's a nice work and it's well done, as we say. Yeah.
Don't worry, Daniel. The car is really, really cool. I love it.
Those words you just heard were Alberto's words on my work, and unfortunately I didn't win anything because my work wasn't Halloween enough, and I have to agree, my work wasn't Halloweeny enough, especially after seeing all the other contestants, their work. I'm still happy with what I made, and even they said they loved it, they thought it was amazing and very good looking, and I'm still very happy with the work that I made and the effort I put in and the result I got in the end. But I understand why I didn't end up any higher than I did. And that's okay. But I made something I'm proud of, something I liked, and now I have something cool to look at. And I'll know better for next time. This was my work, this was the result that I ended up getting, and I'm very happy with what I ended up with. So fortunately, didn't win anything, but we got good feedback. Just happy with what I made. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And don't forget to follow me on my social media. My Instagram will be linked down below. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.